Hello guys, welcome once again to the Djourneytv. I tell you, you don't want to miss this gist. This gist is right. It is trending right now on the internet and it is coming from Pastor Tunde Bakare. According to him, he's saying that there's reward now in Nigeria for bad behavior. According to him, he's saying that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is actually rewarding some people in the governments that have bad behavior. I believe you understand what he means by bad behavior. He's trying to say that some people that are being awarded ministerial positions are not meant to be there. I tell you, this is what he's saying. He's also saying that this government is telling the people that they should tighten up their seat belts because things are going to be rough. You know, in recent times, the subsidy has been removed and the fuel price is actually very high. If you drive on the streets right now, you would see there are limited cars on the street because people can no longer afford this fuel. So now only the rich they drive motor right now, I tell you. And if you understand the current situation of Nigeria, everything is on the hike. A bag of rice is now being sold for 55,000 naira. Then you ask yourself a question: how much is minimum wage? I tell you, so many things are now very, very expensive and it is hard for the common man to survive. And after all this, so they are telling us that we should tighten our seat belts, that things will be like this for a few months or a few years before it gets better, that we have to sacrifice. But while we are sacrificing, some people are ordering Prado jeeps for 1 billion naira, just escort cars, I tell you. And they're telling us, no, we cannot pay you 50,000 naira as minimum wage. This is what Pastor Tunde Bakare is saying. He's saying this government is telling us that we need to cut cost of so many things. We can no longer subsidize the fuel for you guys, but you are appointing 47 ministers. Like, what are you doing with 47 ministers? Over 70 people in the cabinet. I tell you, just to tell Mr. President, be like say, Ewa, Gari no dey again. Let me allow you hear him talk.
A government that is asking the poor to tighten their belts cannot afford a bloated waistline. A reduction in the size of government will ultimately translate to a reduction in the cost of governance. By nominating 48 ministers, the president is about to set a record for the highest number of ministers since 1999. This is not the kind of record expected of a supposed reform-minded government. In a world of cutting-edge nations, in which governance is becoming lean and agile, what does the president need 48 ministers? Or a cabinet of close to 70 persons for, other than the distribution of patronage? It is hypocritical for a government that has subjected Nigerians to untold hardship by adopting neoliberal policy prescriptions to then turn around and expand the size of government, thereby violating a core aspect of the same neoliberal principles. That, Mr. President, does not constitute genuine reforms. It is governance by political convenience. Truth be told, certain ministerial appointments and that of the current APC chairman by consensus illustrate the error that proceeds from the ruler, as stated by the preacher in Ecclesiastes chapter 10, 5-7. He reads, and I quote, "There is an evil I have seen under the sun, as an error proceeding from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, while the rich sit in a lowly place. I've seen servants on horses, while princes walk on the ground like servants." It does appear, Mr. President, that by your appointments, there's a reward for bad behavior and mediocrity in our polity.
Welcome once again to the Djourneytv. The pastor you have just heard is Pastor Tunde Bakare. What do you think? What do you think about all he said? To me, he made a lot of sense. I tell you, appointing 47 ministers makes no sense to me when we see everything is now expensive in the country and we are trying to cut costs. These ministers, they do not go home with chicken change. They don't go home with 200,000. They go home with millions. They go home with escorts. They go home with cars. They go home with so many benefits. I tell you, when an average Nigerian cannot even afford to buy a bag of rice right now, it is very things are very hard. Even if you are the working class, if you know, recently they would say they said banks are now increasing salaries of their workers. It is because things are really hard, and it is showing so many people can't even afford to jump a bus to work every day because the price of transportation right now, it has tripled. If you try to move from one state to the other right now, I tell you, the money is not here. So when we are trying to manage with this government and see if the future would be great here in Nigeria, these ministers are still eating all the money alone. I tell you. So Pastor Tunde Bakure did not hold it down. I tell you, he really poured it out how he felt and how he saw it. So what do you think? If you are a supporter of the APC government, please leave a comment on the comment section. If you're supporting the PDP and the Labour Party, do not forget that that case is still in court. The judges told Nigerians that this August the verdict will be given, and we do not know who would be the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Would there be a rerun in the election, or will the mandate be given to the other party? What do you think? Please leave a comment on the comment section, like this video if you have not liked, and also do share with a friend. Do not forget you can now hit us on Twitter at the Djourneytv. Thank you guys for staying tuned, and bye for now.